Good morning, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cups and Truth. So happy you are here today, or whatever time you watch, will be great. This will be fun. We're having a fun talk today. One of the things at Cups and Truth that I believe in and that I would like to get across, and God would like to get across to you, is Psalms 143:10. And it says, "Teach me to do your will, for you are my God." And that is so true. I want to do his will. I want him to teach me, guide me, and show me how to lead women into the kingdom and build up the kingdom for what they do. So we offer these programs to you. Now, today, I'm having two special guests. And for the first time ever, dun, 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 we have a male on this program, which is a women's ministry, which is just fine because we are all kingdom happy. And I practice this name to introduce to you the Cesenas. Aha, hold on, here they come. Good morning.
Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Debbie.
Did I get the name right?
Yes, Henry and Jeanne Cesena.
Yay! 2 minutes of practices, it could do a body good, right? Okay, now, one of the things I always ask, how did we meet? Jeanne,
Debbie,
do you remember?
we met at the Rock Church Point Loma and Women's Ministries with Karen Stevens, one of the sisters groups. And I just fell in love with you. And I think you're so sweet and wonderful. And I just had to be your friend.
Oh, I had to be your friend too. And then because you were the same thing with me. Now we have a person in common that we both love, and that's Pam Farrell.
Yes.
Yes. And when I found out that you were a friend with her too, that made you all the more lovely, like a gumdrop. And so one of the things that you and I are doing, we're praying for our Pam.
Yes.
We're praying for our Pam as she's going through, and I know she wouldn't mind everyone praying for her as she goes through about with cancer. So keep her in mind, everyone. But meanwhile, tell me about your family, Jeanne. Tell me about you. When did you come to San Diego, and then where did you meet Henry?
Well, I've been in San Diego since I was 2. And I lived here all my life since I was 2. And how I met Henry was there's called an unequally yoked ministry that did videos for. It was one of the first online companies, and they did it for Christians.
Oh,
and so
it was a dating service, basically.
Yeah,
oh.
there you go.
I was not a member of it, but my lovely bride here, we were doing videos for that, and we met there. Now, the beautiful thing about it is she was there, and we were going to do a video shoot, and that's what we did. I've been doing video for a long time, and so we met at the actual meeting, the first meeting, the business meeting, set that up.
And then a couple of weeks later, I went to the AM/PM on Waite Avenue in La Mesa. Yeah. And my son was that was about 9 or 10, wanted a hot dog. So we went into AM/PM, and he was there. Oh. And so I talked to him about it, and I said, "When are you going to do the video shoot?" And he said, "Well, we're doing it tomorrow. Would you like to come?" So I went to the video shoot, and I got to know him there.
Oh,
God had us uniquely opportunity meet there at AM/PM to be ready for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Oh, so love at first sight, right?
Well, we worked on it. We were friends at first, and then worked on the dating part.
Yes.
I think those are the best relationships, because I was friends with my husband first, and then it evolved into this wonderful thing, and we've been friends, and husband and wife and lovers ever since. So I agree with that. Now, we're going to talk about the step family. And I need to ask both of you, did you both bring in a family to your relationship?
I did.
Okay.
I had 2, 10-year-old and a 12-year-old when we got married. Okay. And my husband had never been married, never had any children. And I couldn't believe that he fell in love with a woman who'd been divorced and had 2 children. Right. And it was God gave him a love for me and my children, which was really precious and beautiful.
Oh.
Well, I felt privileged because, Joseph was the father to Jesus.
Right,
So
right.
he had to make that choice to do that, and I got an opportunity to choose to be the two kids' father. So
Well,
I'm
I
a husband to my lovely bride.
I love how you said that, how Joseph was the stepfather to Jesus. We need to be reminded of those little things like that kind of passes us over in
Right.
scripture. So very, very good. So, and then I want to go like, what now that you have put these families together, or Jeannie and her two boys and you with you, Henry, then you had to start making new priorities with the family.
Well, one of the things is we have her two kids, and then we have one together, James.
Yes.
So we have our ministry
Oh,
basically is yours, mine, and ours.
yes.
We want to tackle all three of them because sometimes they're a little bit of a challenge, but it's really a
Okay.
blessing whenever you think about it.
Yeah.
You have so many more opportunities in relationships to grow from God. So one of the
Yes.
things that we really like is the fact that we get an opportunity to see God in each other and then encourage each other to be closer to God.
And we
Oh,
have
wow.
two beautiful daughter and son from a previous marriage. And then we have James together, and he was a bonus baby. I had him at 40.
Oh, mercy. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So he's 25, the other's 38 and 40. So there's a big span there, but we're a
Yes.
real happy family. So
Yeah, real happy family. Oh, how nice is that? I think I know you're saying your son James because he plays the guitar, right?
and
Correct.
Yes,
sings.
and sings. Yeah, so I've met him before. So yes, and
Yeah.
what a very handsome and lovely young man, also. So so then having yours, mine, and ours, then you had to start making plans in the family. How did that go about?
Well, one of the things is individually, we got to remember that, with our ministry, that God has a plan and a purpose for a step family. So
Yes.
in a step family, you actually have a plan and a purpose individually, and then you have a plan and a purpose as a
Together.
couple. And then each child has their own plan and purpose. And our goal really is to find out what that plan is, and then encourage the kids to find out the plan that God has for them, because everybody has a purpose. And in a step family, you get an opportunity to not only be involved in each other's lives, but the lives uniquely in other people's situations, their kids and their friends, and all of that in a step family. Just when you have two kids and a husband and wife, there are 71 relationships, and
Wow.
that's really important, and 71 different opportunities for God to use to touch the innermost parts of your heart. God first touches my heart, my wife will touch the innermost parts of my heart where nobody else will. So I always want to make sure that I check in here and then check to see what God's doing through my spouse.
Wow. That's beautiful. Now, 71 relationships. I like that how you put it that way. And so a lot of people don't realize that it's more than the two or three or four of you, multiplies.
Correct.
Wow.
It's 31 different, but you're also going back and forth. So you
Hmm.
have a relationship between one person to the other, and then that person to you. So it's
Hmm.
multiplying itself. So whenever you
Hmm.
have two people, you have the relationship between each one of them, then the
Hmm.
relationship between her towards me from God, from me to her. So it's really a great opportunity for personal growth, especially in the step family.
And
Wow.
sometimes you have the exes involved too.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother dynamic. And the kids
Right.
go and visit the exes, and they come home with different ideas and different things that the exes have done and the way they live their lives. So you deal with that when they come home. Sometimes it's a Christian ex, but not usually not. So you just go family to family. So you just deal with those challenges.
And uniquely, in a step family, something has died.
Mm.
Whether it be a marriage that died and or an individual from somebody that she was married individually in the past. So something has died, and we have to go through the grieving process together, in making
Mm.
sure we accommodate that, because in grieving it really gets us closer to God.
Mm.
Whenever we do that, we look to Him for that wisdom to be able to walk through that. That's why with our series, when we go stepping into the image of God, we were uniquely created to be able to do that from the beginning, from Adam and Eve. We were created with that plan and purpose already in our hearts, in our lives, each one of us. So whether you're a believer or a non-believer, you were created with God in the image of God. And our plan and purpose is really to find out what that plan is, step by step, to find out our purpose in our lives daily, and also for the rest of our lives.
Oh, I really like that. That's a great explanation. My phone has been buzzing and ringing because people are saying they can't make comments. So, people are watching, but they can't make comments. I'll have to work on that later, why I can't get comments on here, but people are watching. One of the things you said, Henry, that strikes such a chord with me, that I've learned that sorrow and joy are just right there together. And so what you're saying, going through the grieving process together, then will bring joy in your relationship now. And so that is really good. Thank you for that.
But remember, the death of one thing is the beginning of something new.
Right.
So you got to reflect. If you're reflecting on the death and you're staying there, you're not looking at what's new, because what's new is where God wants you to move forward from and into.
Okay. Now, right there came from the Holy Spirit. That was good. You put tears in my eyes on that one. Okay. Now, Jeannie, we talked a little bit earlier this week about with putting a relationship together and learning how to live together, that sometimes there's some triggers that happens. And talk us through that.
Well, triggers are an emotion that happens when you don't even expect it. And it comes from the past, from hurts and pains from the past. And I was actually married to a pastor who left the ministry, went into the world, went into drugs and alcohol, and left the ministry and left me with 2 babies. And so I have triggers of him leaving me sometimes, or I get triggers about not so much anymore. We've been married 29 years. When I was first married, there were a lot of triggers. Now, there's not so many. Just a few once in a while.
Right. Like the one we came up with last time. It was basically, I came home thinking, wow, sweetheart, let's put ourselves on a budget. And I thought it was a good thing to be put on a budget. But it triggered her, and I didn't realize why. Now, I can't take this personally at the time, especially, but it triggered her past. Do you want to tell the story about what happened when the budget?
Well, my ex did drugs and alcohol. And so when he put me on a budget, it was to budget for drugs and alcohol and not for our family. So I had that trigger when he said budget. I said, oh, no, that could be something bad.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, the emotions and all the images of drug, alcohol, whatever else he spent the money on at that point in time, all of that was right there, all those emotions, and they were thrown my direction. Now I had to accommodate that. I had to learn how to accommodate that. That again is stepping into the image of God. It's basically walking in there and going, why is my wife reacting this way? So I had to give her the space to be able to, first of all, experience it, and then share with me what she's going through. And then I realized, wow, all of that emotion was not really directed towards me. It's where she was at because of the word that was mentioned. That was the word budget. Brought all the emotion. And from our past, we don't really realize sometimes how important that is, because we all have triggers. We all have a past, and we don't know what's going to trigger our past and all those emotions at one time. And
when you're first married in a step family, those triggers hit you really hard because you don't understand why. When we first met, I actually didn't want him to put his arm around me or hold my hand or anything, because I'd been hurt so bad by men that I didn't want that to happen. So it took a while for me to heal and to trust him over the other men and the feelings and the emotions that I had from the past, from abuse and different things that I went through, so that I could trust him to hold his hand. Or, we courted for quite a while, and that was not a lot of holding hands or hugging or anything because of my heart being wounded. And I know sometimes there's women that have been abused by men and they get remarried and they think it's just going to be bliss. It's going to be wonderful, but you still have those wounds that you have to deal with and you have to heal from.
Yeah, and as a male in the family, I have to accommodate that. But I need to know that from God. How can I be used in my wife's life? Because if anybody's going to be used, I love my wife. I want to
Mm,
be there for her. So if God's going to use anybody to change her and her heart, I want to be that person.
mm. Oh, I feel like I need a Kleenex. Wow, this is like phenomenal. Wait, where's my Kleenex? Right here. I mean, my goodness, that was really good. I like the part where you said that I need to let her work out her emotion, go through her emotion, because a lot of people would think, oh, stop the emotion, you know, almost
Yeah,
like that whack-a-mole. Oh, she has an emotion, whack it down, you
yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes when we first got married, he didn't understand all my emotions and what I was going through. So it took a while for him to understand. So men that get married to a woman that has kids and then in a step family sometimes don't understand those emotions that they have from the past.
Mm.
And singles, whenever they're looking at singles with kids, they need to understand where they're at too, because they don't know themselves as well as God does. And God's going to take them through something. And then if somebody's looking at marrying somebody with children, they need to understand what is the purpose of this relationship. What is are we here to follow God's plan? So we need to make sure that we're in this together, in this together, in this together, and then as a family, we're in this together, because we're each responsible for our personal relationship with God, each other, and then each other as a family.
Wow. Go ahead, Jeannie.
It takes seeking God, because if you don't seek God, you seek your emotions and you start to run backwards and you start feeling those emotions. And he was the one that was catalyst in helping me heal, because he was there for me to talk it through and say, you know, I understand. You don't understand what I'm going through, but you do allow me that space, like he said, to heal.
And I know she was married to a pastor that went out and did all these other things. So the closer I got to God, sometimes Satan would say, he's going to be like your ex-pastor ex-husband. So all of a sudden, if I wanted to get closer to God, there was a trigger there too.
Man, there's a battle. I can hear there was a battle that you prayed through, worked through, and stayed with God on the path to get it worked out. I am over the top how wonderful this is. Now, I want to let the audience know, whenever you watch this, that you can continue talking to Jeannie and Henry about this, and I want to ask you, do you do like one-on-one counseling sometime and not in a group if somebody is a little bit more shy about wanting to share with a group?
We do have that available. We really get together in once a month online, and also at our church. In fact, I can show you a QR code while we're doing this.
Yes, please put that up.
What it does, it shows you a connection onto and it'll be on there forever, of course, because it's recorded.
Yes.
And that way, what we'll be able to do is if they take a screenshot and go to that, they'll be able to see how often and where we're meeting, and also be able to connect with us that way.
We have enrichment classes once a month, every second Saturday of the month. And women and men get together, singles come, engagement come, marriage comes, and dating comes. All the people, women that have children or men that have children that want to grow more in a step family.
It will come. I am so sorry. 18 minutes is over. It goes fast, but we got this was a lot chucked in there. It made me cry and everything. You stay there. Don't go away. After I close out, I'll come back. All right. Oh my goodness. That was wonderful. There is a QR code. This is at the Rock El Cajon in East County. You can look it up, Step Family, okay? And if you want any help and any more information, you can talk to them later. I am so excited to bring this to you. And next month, we have a musical artist that's coming on, Deanne. So I'll be talking to you soon. See you next month. Bye-bye, everyone. God bless you. Okay. Wow.
You're still alive.
Wow. I don't think, are we? I told it to end.
It says